First and foremost, we are cannabis consumers. We are cannabis connoisseurs. We are cannabis cultivators. We are cannabis curators. We're not here to bring you solely the highest cannabinoid profiles. We know test results don't always tell the full story of a flower's terpene expression, which is why we hunt. Not just for the quote craft grown, but for the true top shelf. For that experience that makes your senses tingle when you pop a pack open. For that inhalation that coats your taste buds from puff to puff. We're not looking for right now. We're looking for the future. So put on your shoes and follow your nose. Welcome to the flavor chase. 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 I'm your host, Loner Mob, and thanks for joining me once again. If this is your first episode, the Flavor Chase is an unbiased public cannabis consultation series. Unbiased, which means that, hey, I don't care if we friends, I don't care if we enemies, I don't care who know who, I don't care about none of that. I'm just here for the quality of the product to speak for itself, which means I'm looking for the true top shelf flower, extracts, and edibles, right? Around the country in the emerging Type 3, Type 4, Type 2, and Type 1 cannabis markets. If you like content like that, please do. Like, subscribe, click that notification bell, leave a comment, but most importantly, tell your peoples, tell your partners, tell your homies, tell your smokers that there's something going on in this room, all right? If you really want to help me out, hey, check the merch link in the description, cop a shirt, cop a beanie, a hat, anything you want to do. The support's always appreciated. You feel me? We always gonna appreciate that. But now that we got all that out the way, what we got right here in this jar? We have, you see this flag back here, right? This right here, thank you, Thomas. We got some flower, which I paid for, by the way, from High Alpine Genetics, right? Shouts out to High Alpine Genetics, a Colorado-based breeder and cultivator, right? Thomas is one of my homies too, right? One of my online homies. I don't know him personally, right? We don't be on the phone talking for hours, but we chop it up. We chop it up in the chat box, right? We chop it up on a text message, right? And I really like what he's got going on and what he's working on in the hemp scene and what he's doing for the Type 3 market. Really making cultivation accessible by choosing to be an open source breeder, right? Open source breeder, which means that he wants you to grow his strains. He wants you to cross your strains to his strains and make new strains and keep cannabis going, right? That's what he's in it for, and it's really dope to see. This right here is Legendary OG R1. This Legendary OG right here, I believe, is grown from bag seed, and this is kind of a collaboration, I believe, between Thomas Swanson and Tyler Shannon of Beleafer, right? This is, I believe, grown from seeds that Tyler provided Thomas with. Thomas took some of those Legendary OG seeds and grew them out and grew some flower, but I believe also turned some of them into pollen donors to make the Legendary series of crosses that are hitting the market right now, which I believe have been really good. This is Legendary OG R1. Legendary OG in the past, from the some of the seeds or some of the variations of phenotypes that I've had, has had a notably cereal sweetness on it, right? A very sweet nose in most cases, not necessarily an OG nose. I don't really know the genetics behind Legendary OG, just the name of it. So really looking forward to trying this one out here. It's a very purple buzz. It's got a mixture of phenols in here, some purple and some greens, but I'm gonna smoke the purple one for all intents and purposes from what it looks like inside here. Let's pop the nose, or let's pop the top on this one here. Get a whiff of what that nose is like, and then we're gonna break it down, roll it up, light it up, put it in the air, and we're gonna get to the nitty gritty of it, right? And we've got a new rating system, right? A new rating system which goes like this. We got the top shelf up here, some really good mid right here, some okay mid right here, and then if you get on this first step, well, you got some boof. I'm not hating on you. I'm just letting you know you got some boof. So moving forward, that's how we doing it. Now let's pop the top on this jar here, get a whiff of the nose, and see what the rest is like. So here we go. Gassy, not particularly, not the loudest gassiness, but so far it's like a stovetop gas, like not diesel. It's like a stovetop type of gas, kind of like that legendary Banana Mac, right? Legendary OG is one of the strains that's crossed the legendary Banana Mac. I'm not sure which pheno it was that went into making the legendary Banana Mac, but has that kind of that same kind of stovetop gas that the legendary Banana Mac from Beleafer had, right? And a certain level of sweetness to it too. And there's two phenotypes in here. One is purple, heavily purple, and one's green with hints of purple in it. And this green one here smells like a little sweeter. Okay, well, this is a good looking flower. It's a very good looking flower. And this purple one here is a beauty. It's a beauty. And it's about to get smoked. So hey, I'm gonna break this down here, and let's break this down. See what the nose is like once you ground it up. See what this gives us here. And we're gonna use this flour mill mini grinder, which has been, so far for me, one of the best grinders that I've ever used. The best grinder I've ever used. Kind of put all the other ones to shame. But I have been informed, though, that there is a bit of a issue that some people have experienced with this grinder, in which I guess if you get the aluminum version, which this one is an aluminum version, and the metal pieces of it rubbed together, you could get some metal shavings, perhaps going down into that keef tray there, right? To that final destination. And you don't want to smoke that. But thankfully, ooh, it smells good. Thankfully, that hasn't necessarily been the case, right? I guess we just gonna smoke the damn near the whole piece, huh? What are you doing, Loner Mob? What are you doing? Okay, we've got a lot of flower here. It's a very beautiful amount of purple in here. And it smells, yeah, I could say it smells kind of like the legendary Banana Mac. Definitely has that bit of that stovetop gassiness to it. It's a really nice note, but not as loud. The legendary Banana Mac was louder than this one here, but it does have a nice nose to it. Yeah, it's got that stovetop gas nose to it. Not the loudest though. Could be a louder flower, but for where it's going, it's in a very good direction. Let's go ahead and why don't you check out some of these high resolution photos shot on an OM System OM1 camera with a 60 millimeter. No, I believe this is it's probably a 60 millimeter or a 50 millimeter macro lens. I forget which one I use for these shots here, but here's a few shots of these flowers for you to check out, and let's do it now. When we come back, this joint will be rolled. All right, we got the joint rolled up. We got it ready to smoke. And what we got it rolled up with, a Doobie Ninja rolling paper. Hey, you want to help support reforestation efforts right now happening in California, but with potential to go global and be something on a worldwide basis, do check out Doobie Ninja rolling papers, right? They sponsor the show. They support Loner Mob. They support the Flavor Chase. They love your support. Now, back to this joint here. The dry hits is like part of the legendary Banana Mac, right? A slighter gas on this one here, not a heavier gas. It's actually pretty interesting for the gas to be slighter on this one and heavier on what it was crossed to. But a slighter gas coming off of this purple flower, the purple pheno in here. But let's see what happens when we put it in the air, and if there are any sort of effects that hit us, if they hit the body, if they hit the mind, and what this taste is like. So let's get to it. Little grab going to it for that first hit, but smooth. Noticeable that stovetop gas, right? Not a diesel gas, but gassy nonetheless. Not a diesel type gas, but gassy nonetheless, and very much kind of like that stovetop kind of gas. Yeah, good taste on it actually. Good taste to it. not the best taste, right? I have tasted a little better, but yeah, no, really good one, really good one. No sort of no sort of cookie, no sort of sweetness on this one here. Some of the legendary OG crosses have a certain sweetness to them that this one doesn't particularly have coming from it. It is very much just like a straight kind of like one real main flavor profile that you get from it, right? And it's very much what some people will call it, like camphor, right? It's like, it's something that you would, right? It's a gas that's familiar, but it's not fuely, right? And a good flower. So far though, some flower, it hits you and the effects hit you, sometimes rapidly, especially if it's in that type 2, type 1 range, right? It's gonna be a little stronger. But this one, not so much. This feels more type 3 than type 2 or type 1. One that will give you a nice chill buzz, but not a high, right? Not a euphoric high, but this one is more of a chill, just more of a mellow relaxation, right? If you were to compare this to the strength of something, not the type of effect, but the strength of something, right? To alcohol, type 1 you could consider maybe like having a shot, and type 3 you could consider having like a Truly, right? Well, you get a nice little buzz off a can of Truly, right? Like a little 5%er, right? Get a nice little buzz off of that, off one can, and it's like a one and done, right? Yeah, I enjoy this one. Just not necessarily a standout as far as the flavor is concerned, right? Smooth, a noticeable and definable flavor profile from it, but it's not necessarily, jumping out at you with every hit, right? Ash burns on this one. Ash burns, kind of a mixture, right? A mixture of white and black, kind of a mixture of a gray, right? And it does smoke good. Man, all right. I don't know what's going on there. You ever get them feelings where you don't know if you're about to throw up? It's kind of like that right there. But right, it's a type 3. It's a type 3 experience. Very much a type 3 experience. As far as effects wise, similar to the legendary Banana Mac, right? You get that feeling in the face, right? You get a little feeling, a little grab to the face, get a little grab in the chest, a little not a clench on your heart, but a little grab to the chest that kind of relaxes your body, but nothing too heavy. Not as heavy as that legendary Banana Mac, right? That was more what I learned of, right? A type 2 flower, which is hey, I enjoy my type 2s, right? And I noticed it was something a little more potent than just a standard type 3, right? This is more in line with type 3. So if you wanted something that was lower in THC that you knew was not going to produce a pronounced and euphoric high, this one here would definitely be one of the ones you would be looking for. And for where I'm at right now too, I think we're ready to go ahead and place this one on our grading scale and see if this flower is going to be some top shelf, some good mid, some okay mid, or some boof. And we're going to see, let's go ahead and get to the nitty gritty of it, right? Okay. Legendary OG R1 from High Alpine Genetics is a beautiful flower, right? The last little bit of this purple here, extremely frosty, but I'm pretty sure you already noticed that from the photos that you saw. The green pheno, well, I haven't smoked it, also very frosty, very pretty flower, right? I'll probably smoke this one tomorrow or something. Maybe write something about it. This flower here is pretty. It's pretty, it's colorful, it's dense, it's well trimmed, and it's frosty, right? And can't take nothing away from that, right? It's got a nice smell to it. right? Not the loudest smell, but a noticeable and definable nose to it. Right? Sometimes something, it just smells like a certain general sweetness. You can't really put a defining nose to it. No, it smells like some gas, right? Just not a heavy fuel gas. And the taste of it translates well too. It's noticeably there and it's smooth, but it's not bursting with it, right? It's not bursting with the flavor, right? That's the one thing. It's one thing I noticed about this one. It's there, but it's not just jumping out at you, right? As far as effects are concerned, well, for where I'm at in the joint now, it has hit me a little harder, but it still has not hit me as hard as a type 2, right? It's in the face, it's in the chest, it's in the head, it's in the body, right? It's not a notably heady sensation, but more of a physical one, right? It's more of a grab in the face, but not a head change, right? It's more of a grab in the face. The jaw clench is there. That eye kind of grab is there, right? Feels kind of like your face is being massaged, right? Feels kind of like your chest, shoulders, upper back, right, is being massaged. I definitely get that from this one right here, right? Without necessarily my brain being taken somewhere else. And for about $30 for 8 grams, pretty smooth price. It seems as if Thomas isn't necessarily growing to make a profit because the flower is such a small batch, grown such a small batch, and you get so much and it comes in a glass jar. The cost of shipping that and the cost of those materials, right? It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. However, it does not have the stronger nose that some other flowers may have, right? A stronger taste that some other flowers may have. Has a good taste, has a good nose, noticeable taste, noticeable nose, right? And it's smooth, but it's just not as flavorful as some of the other flowers you may have had, right? So keeping that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and rate this flower here as some, hopefully it doesn't fall over, some good mid. Legendary OG R1 from High Alpine Genetics. Good mid. Beautiful appearance. Nice and dense. Frosty. Well triked up. Well trimmed. Colorful. Right? Purple pheno. Green pheno. A lot of variety right there. Right? A nice and noticeable nose and taste. Just not too loud. And nice and pleasant type 3 effects, which means that this is not going to give you a major euphoric high, right? It'll give you a little something, give you a little buzz, just a little something, if that's what you're looking for, right? I do recommend it. I recommend it. All right, well, hey, man, it's late. I got to put these sheets on the bed and put the blankets on the bed and all kind of stuff and put a bed together and get in the bed and go to sleep, so I'm gonna see y'all later. And hey, look, I know you're going through it, right? You're going through it just like everybody else is going through it, right? People throwing dirt on your name. But it's always somebody looking for a player to hate. And we too busy, we got flavors to chase. So put on your shoes and follow your nose. Welcome to the flavor chase. We in search for the fire, that tropical Kool-Aid mixed with burnt rubber ties that we throw up in the paper, we favor and roll it up. Look like Olympic torches, we hoping we showing up. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. What I want, what it do, what I need, my dro. This be my show, going out to all the coasts. It's the flavor chase, player and loner mob, the host.